a lot of the time on this spiritual journey, we can have a lot of ups and downs. And a lot of the time, we can start to identify what is bringing us up and what is bringing us down. There are things that we can do, on this earth that can bring our state up, to make us feel good again, to, raise our vibration. And a lot of these things are great. A lot of them aren't. A lot of them, we're temporarily feeling good. And we're temporarily trying to find this high. And a lot of the time, when we're trying to find this high, we're always trying to be up here, be up here, be up here. We never get to experience down here. And I've seen that with humans. A lot of humans, they don't want to experience down here. They want to always be up here. Up here, up here, up here. And that's where a lot of, drug addictions, video games, TV shows, junk food, sex, drugs and alcohol, all that type of thing. A lot of people are trying to increase their state, where really their emotional set point is a lot lower. Where they normally sit, sober you'd say, or without doing anything, is a lot lower. And it's until they start to sit here, then they can start to process through their emotions and start to process things and actually help them get higher up naturally. And it's not always the case, even with normal people. There's a lot of spiritual people or people in the self-development industry that are doing exercise, going out and taking action and doing things like that. A lot of them can be bumping their state in a certain way, and it's as well as a temporary fix. Like something like exercise can be bumping up your state. Yoga, even meditation. Certain meditations, singing mantras, ecstatic dance, they all can bump up your emotional state. And yes, they can help, release things and work with emotions, which is great. But if it's a place, if you're doing it intentionally to release and to help heal you, rather than doing it because, I need to be in a certain state, I need to be feeling this blissful state all the time. I think that's where people get caught up when they start to do this spiritual work, when they start to try and find enlightenment or reach enlightenment. They want to raise their vibration or be more healthier and happier in life. They start identifying things that bring them up, and it's great, absolutely great. Fantastic to do these things that are going to bring you up. But if you become reliant on these things, and you need to do these things all the time to be in a certain state, and then when you stop doing them, you drop them, all of a sudden you feel like shit. Or if you leave that ashram that you're meditating in, or you stop doing yoga for one day, or you haven't meditated for one day, you're out. You're not feeling it today because you haven't meditated. I didn't do my ecstatic dance this week, so I'm not feeling right. Well, these things, you shouldn't rely on them to make you feel good all the time. And that's where a lot of people get caught up, because doing this spiritual work, it's not all about feeling good. You need to embrace your darkness. You need to embrace the lows. The lows and the darkness are big teachers, and they're bigger than the ones that are. They're bigger than the light. So a lot of people are numbing, or they're suppressing feeling these emotions. So they're suppressing the work. They're suppressing the connection to the divine. And there's a lot of people that are very disconnected. And when you become disconnected, what do? You're trying to seek a happier state. Really, they're all trying to seek God, or they're trying to seek some divine feeling that they're supposed to be given a birthright, but they've lost touch of. So when you become disconnected, you start really relying on external things in life, whether it's junk food, whether it's drugs and alcohol, whether it's sex, whether it's, playing video games and getting validation from other people, whatever it may be, to stimulate you, to make you feel good. It's all coming from a place because you want to be connected. Deep down, you really want to feel that joyous state. So you can see that when you start doing the work and you start feeling better naturally, that's where a lot of these addictions can just come off you, because you realize that they're only temporary. And that's the key point of this video too, is that we do a lot of things temporarily, and they give us a temporary fix. And we get this pleasure short term that's going to make us feel good for like maybe a minute, maybe make you feel good for 10 minutes, maybe 1 hour, maybe a whole day. But they're very temporary. And if they're not helping you feel good long term, then you shouldn't really be doing them. But to really start to come into that and come into the long-term, this long-term progress, because everyone in modern society, they want short-term, they want it now, and they're not thinking about long-term. What's happening long-term? If I do this thing, activity, or eat healthy, or go to the gym, or meditate, if I do it long-term, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in 3 to 4 months? What's going to happen in maybe 1 year? Amazing results. But that's not how we're conditioned. We're conditioned to seek things fast and get the short-term fix right away, right now. And we're taught that, like we need it now, and then we just keep wanting short nows instead of this long-term picture. When you start to become more connected, and you start to do more long-term activities, you start to feel this cleanness, this presence, this connectedness to your spirit. Some call it, being in alignment, or being in the flow, or in a flow state. And when you're in this state, you realize that you don't need anything external. Nothing compares to what you're feeling. And then when you're in this state, you're in this flow state, you can really start to identify what's brought me out of this state. What's brought me out of this clean awareness, this pure essence that I'm feeling, where all the knowledge that I've learned can come through me, where all the information that I've learned can come through me. I get access to, charisma and confidence. You start just feeling good. If you've felt it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And when we're doing this, we obviously become sensitive to what's bringing us out. Because when you're in a lower vibration and you do these bad things, you're not really aware, because you're not really feeling good. You don't really feeling connected to your spirit. So when you're eating junk food, or watching TV, or having a cigarette, or whatever it may be, having some alcohol, it doesn't affect you as much, because there's not much of a contrast from where you're coming from. So along this journey, you will start to realize what is affecting you and what is really bringing you down and out of that state. And a lot of the time, they're old patterns that we used to do. They're old attachments. They're part of our old self. And, everyone else is doing them, so we feel like, oh, maybe we should do them too. Why can't we do them? Why can't we eat a bit of junk food, or a bit of chocolate, or watch that TV show, or play that video game? Or why can't I just have a scotch and coke every now and again? And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But when we start to do this, we start to feel that it's really bringing us out of alignment. And if it's really starting to affect you, how many times do we need to learn the lesson? For me, I've had to learn it maybe 1,000 times before I learned that I need to stop eating that crap food. I needed to learn 1,000 times that every time I done it, it made me feel like shit. I got this 30-second pleasure from this high intense flavorish food. Oh yeah, this is good. And then gone. And then I felt like shit. So we really start to feel like, is it worth that short-term fix? That little short-term fix for a long-term ongoing stigma. Short-term bliss for ongoing pain. So when we start to drop these habits, we start to just feel better, because we know that you would rather feel in alignment, in this flow, connected to your spirit, connected to your higher self, is a lot more enjoyable and feels a lot more better than that short-term fix of crap. So, starting to realize as well that even a lot of these pleasurable things, that we might think give us a short-term fix, and they might even seem like they're healthy, can also attribute to this. But I guess it becomes a little bit more complex when you go along down the spiritual path, because you start to understand that it's not all about feeling good, but it's about tapping into that flow. Because that flow is when you're being of service. That flow is when you're in alignment, when you're doing something for your greater good. It means that you're on the right path. When you're on your purpose, there's nothing else stronger than when you're on your purpose. And these obstacles that get in the way, these little hiccups, they're just little roadblocks. When you're on your purpose, nothing can stop you. So tapping into what it is that brings you up, what it is that brings you down, and doing more of the things that bring you up, but not doing them because you need to do the things to bring you up, that without them you won't feel good. Doing it because you're enjoying it, you love doing it, you enjoy the process of doing it. There's something special in doing it, not because your mind says, I need to do a static dance, or I need to go and run through nature because it's going to up my state, or I need to meditate because it's going to raise my vibration. No, you shouldn't be doing it from a needing place to do it. You should be doing it because you love to do it. Because when you do it, it connects you with the spirit. You're enjoying it. Think about that. Think about how many times you've eaten crap or done that activity that you really don't want to do anymore. Made you feel good for like a minute, and it made you feel like shit. Maybe start doing activities that are more long term, that are gonna really bring you a peace and a joy and connect you to your spirit. It's gonna serve your spirit rather than serve your ego. That's the trick. But yes, this is my new YouTube channel. I'll be posting every now and again on it. If you like, subscribe, and there'll be more wisdom to come. More truth, and more seeing different perspectives as well. Because everyone's at a different level of consciousness, so a lot of people can't understand that. But it takes going through the different stages multiple times, up and down, in and out, through the different paradigms, to really have compassion and realize that everyone is where they need to be. Everyone's at a different level. Not everyone will understand you. and not everyone has to understand you. And what's true for them is not true for him, and what's true for him is not true for him. What's true for him is true for him, but not true for the rest. So yes, peace. Enjoy your day.